Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the star of our show, Terry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Music and Me. I am your host, Terry, and I am so excited for this episode because, for one, it's the season finale of season 2. I've decided to make this the season finale because I'm going to take about a month-long break and work on some new ideas for season 3s. I can't wait for that to happen. I do want to apologize because I've been a little inconsistent with my episodes in the past couple of months, and I just wanted to tell you why I've been so inconsistent and haven't had any new episodes the last couple of weeks. And the last episode I did was my episode about the wickedly talented stars of Wicked, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, which I can link in the show notes if you have not listened to that one. It's really good. And that's one of the reasons I've been inconsistent, because I have been what I call wicked brained. I've been so obsessed with that movie, and it's my favorite musical of all time. So I've been watching so many videos. I am just wicked obsessed. I did finally get to go see the movie. And of course, it was amazing. I was blown away. I mean, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes, but it did not seem like 2 hours and 40 minutes. All of a sudden, it was over. And I was kind of mad that it was over because I wanted it to go on. Thank goodness there's a part 2. But anyway, Cynthia and Ariana did excellent in their roles. The singing was great. The sets, the choreography. Oh my God. I mean, the whole production was amazing, and I was highly impressed. And, I had a lot of expectations going into that because, like I said, I've been watching so many videos about Wicked, so I knew all the behind the scenes and everything that was happening. And I've watched all the premieres and everything. I have been totally obsessed. So that's part of the reason I've been inconsistent with my episodes. Another reason is I've just been exhausted and busy. It is the holiday season. I work in retail. Retail can be a little stressful this time of year. You'd think I'd be used to it after 18 years, but no. It seems to be getting not easier. I think people are getting meaner. People are just mean, and they get meaner at Christmas time, and I never understood why, but, go with the flow. But that's why I've been inconsistent. I've just been tired. After my work day is over, I just want to sit and relax, and then on my off days, I basically just want to do nothing but watch TV. It's even been hard for me to get into the Christmas spirit because, like I said, I work in retail, and at work, Christmas is not fun. Christmas is very stressful and exhausting. Now, at home, I finally did decorate my room. I've been listening to Christmas music. I've been doing my Christmas workouts. I have been trying to get in the Christmas spirit. So I've been a little inconsistent with my podcast, and I apologize for that. I didn't want to just disappear on you guys. I wanted to let you know what was going on. So I threw together this fun episode, I hope. Like I said, I've been wicked brained lately. So the only thing in my brain has been wicked. So that's another reason I've been inconsistent. I've just had a hard time coming up with some ideas for my podcast because my brain is full of wicked. But I came up with this brilliant idea, which I'm going to call the shuffle experiment. And what I decided to do for this episode is put my phone on shuffle, which is always fun because you never know what's going to come up. And I let iTunes basically decide what songs I was going to talk about in this episode. I hope this episode is going to be fun and entertaining. And I hope it's going to help you get to know me through what kind of music I listen to. And I'm going to tell you why these songs are on my playlist and, how much I like them, if I even remember they were on my playlist, because there's a lot of things on my playlist that I don't recall putting on there. Because, like I said, I like all kinds of music. All right, everybody, let's get started with the fun. So I'm just going to tell you in order, like the first 10 or 11 songs that came up on my playlist when I put my phone on shuffle. So there's a variety here, and then I'll just tell you a little bit about each song and why it's on my playlist. When I first put my phone on shuffle, the very first song that came up was called No More from the 2022 Broadway revival cast of Into the Woods. Into the Woods, if you don't know, is a musical, and it's one of my favorite musicals. I was lucky enough to see it in St. Louis at the Muni, and it was great, but I mostly recall the movie. This song was not in the movie, but it was in the Broadway revival recording from 2022, which stars Sara Bareilles, Brian Darcy James, Patina Miller, Gavin Creel, rest in peace, and all kinds of amazing artists. So No More is sung by Brian Darcy James, who played the baker, and the spirit of his father. And this song takes place right at the end of the musical. It's right after the song Last Midnight, which is my favorite song from Into the Woods. It's my favorite villain song. Remember the villain episode I did? I can link that one in the show notes too. But it's my favorite villain song. I'm going to give you a spoiler warning here because it's basically right after the baker's wife dies. She falls off a cliff, if you didn't know. And he's grieving, so he runs off to grieve. And then he's confronted by the spirit of his father. And they sing the song No More. I don't remember this song a whole lot because, like I said, it was not in the movie version. But I have listened to the cast recording many, many times of the 2022 Broadway revival. Anyway, it's a great song, and I don't know what to say about this song because I don't know a whole lot about it. All right, the next song that came up right after this one was Finale B from Rent. And this is from the movie version of Rent. Rent is one of my favorite Broadway musicals. I know I say that about a lot of Broadway musicals, but it is. Actually, Rent was the very first Broadway musical I saw at the Fox, and it's always been one of my favorites. And Finale B is one of my favorite songs. It is right at the end of the musical, hence Finale B. The version that came up on my playlist is from the 2005 film, which starred all the original cast except for Daphne Rubin Vega, who played Mimi. But anyway, that's the song that came up next, and I was happy with that. The next song that came up on my shuffle experiment was Let It Snow by Michael Buble. And this song was from the 10th anniversary Christmas album that he had in 2011. It's perfect because it's almost Christmas time. And why not have a Christmas song on my shuffle playlist? So that just fit right in. Michael Buble is one of my favorite artists to listen to during Christmas time. He has amazing Christmas albums, and I have several of them in my playlist. Hence, Let It Snow came up. The next song that came up is a song called Technicolor by Laura Osnes. Now, you might not know who Laura Osnes is, but she is a Broadway performer. A lot of Broadway performers make albums, so I have a lot of albums by Broadway performers because they're amazing singers, so why not? This song is a single that Laura did in 2004, and it's a country song, and it's called Technicolor, and it's really beautiful. I mean, I'm going to link all these songs that came up on my playlist in the show notes so you can go listen to them if you wish. But this is a beautiful song. Laura Osnes is a very talented performer and singer, and I love her, and that's why it's on my playlist, because Like I said, I love Broadway. So I often add the albums from Broadway performers to my playlist. Speaking of Broadway, the next song that came up was A Soft Place to Land, which is from the musical Waitress. But this version was from the live album that Sara Bareilles did from the Hollywood Bowl. And I actually just got a shirt from her concert at the Hollywood Bowl. So I have a Sara Bareilles shirt now. I was very excited to get it. It's short sleeve, so I'm not going to wear it too much in the winter because it's cold and I get cold easy. I just have to say, live versions of songs are really great because it makes me feel like I'm actually at the concert. So I love live albums and all live versions of songs. But this is a beautiful song from the musical Waitress, which I love. I've mentioned that before. I have seen Waitress at the Fox, and I have seen it on Prime Video because I bought it. It was filmed live, so I love Waitress. I have a Waitress jacket that I love to wear, and so I like it when it's cold because I can wear my Waitress jacket. Anyway, I love Sara Bareilles, period. I'm going to have to do an episode maybe in season 3 about Sara Bareilles because she's one of my favorite artists of all time. The next song that came up in my shuffle experiment was one of my favorite songs from Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, Pure Imagination. Now, I love this song. I love all versions of this song. I've heard this song sung by so many different artists, but this was the original done by Gene Wilder from the movie. That's my favorite Willy Wonka movie. The new one that just came out was really good. Willy Wonka, the most recent one, was really good. The one with Johnny Depp, not my favorite. He was a little weird in it, but the first movie was a musical, as is the newest version, and Pure Imagination has always been one of my favorite songs from that movie. I just love it. It just, makes me feel all happy and yay. So that's why it's on my playlist. And I was very happy that it popped up because it always makes me smile. Okay, next up in my shuffle experiment is another song from a musical. Do you see a pattern here? Because I do. I mean, if you know me, you know that Broadway and musicals are my favorite type of music. I like all types of music, but they are my absolute favorite, so it's fitting that they keep coming up in my shuffle experiment. But this next song that came up is One Jump Ahead Reprise from Aladdin, but it was from the live action movie version, which the live action movie version, I say it was pretty good. Some people did not like it. They don't like the live action remakes of Disney movies, but I thought that one was pretty good. And you know that I love Aladdin because I did a whole episode about Aladdin. And guess what? Never mind. I'm going to tell you some exciting news next season. Some very exciting news. So look forward to that because I got some big things to tell you that's going to happen next year. And I'm super excited about it, but I don't want to tell you just yet, okay? But anyway, One Jump Ahead Reprise from Aladdin. Beautiful song. It hits me right in the heart. I mean, I love all the songs from Aladdin, as you know, which is why I did an entire episode. I can link that one in the show notes too. I might just link all my episodes in the show notes. I mean, I need more viewers. All right, everybody. The next song that came up on my shuffle experiment is another song from a musical, and it's called Not My Fault from Mean Girls, the musical, the movie version that was released in 2004. This song that came up, Not My Fault, is actually not in the movie, but like a bonus song. It's probably running in the credits. I don't remember for sure, but it was a collaboration between Renee Rapp, who played Regina George, and Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, I'm going to read you what iTunes says about this song. It says, the Renee Rapp and Megan Thee Stallion collaboration, Not My Fault, is a song that was released before the soundtrack arrived, with Megan bragging that she's the Black Regina George. So Not My Fault samples a line from the dialogue from the original Mean Girls movie, and it turns it into a funky, playful pop anthem. And I agree, it's a playful, funky pop anthem, and I love it. But, I love Mean Girls, which is why I did a whole entire episode about Mean Girls. I'm going to link that in the show notes for y'all, so you can listen to my past episodes while I'm on my month-long break. All right, next on my shuffle experiment is a song that I forgot was on my playlist. It is from, remember that TV show Glee? I was obsessed with Glee, but this is one of the songs that they sang on Glee. It was the Glee version of Total Eclipse from the Heart from season 1, episode 17. It was originally a Bonnie Tyler song, which I actually talked about this song in my Eclipse episode. I could just link all my past episodes, and then you can listen to them. But this song, it was sung by the Glee Cast, and it also featured Jonathan Groff, who was in this episode. And, he is an amazing Broadway performer, as well as Lea Michele was. In fact, them two were in Spring Awakening, the original. So that's how they met. And then he got to be in Glee, and then they sang the song Total Eclipse of the Heart. Glee was one of my favorite shows when it was on. I was totally obsessed, which is why most of the songs from Glee are in my playlist on iTunes. I think I stopped downloading them probably in the last couple of seasons. So the last season was not my favorite. It's like after they graduated high school, after all the originals graduated high school and they weren't at high school anymore. It just wasn't that interesting to me. Sure, part of it was in New York City, which is my favorite city in the world, but I don't know. It just wasn't as good, I think. So I stopped downloading those songs. But this song I forgot was on there, and it's really great. And I loved that show. That's all I have to say about Total Eclipse of the Heart. All right, we're almost at the end of my shuffle experiment. But the next song that came up, not a musical song. In fact, it's a country song. Yes, I do have some country songs on my playlist. Like I said, I like all genres of music, and you never know what's going to come up when you put your phone on shuffle, which is why I love to do it. Also, it's something to do when you don't know what to listen to. And I like putting things on shuffle, because that way you're surprised at what's coming next. So this song was Just a Kiss by Lady Antebellum, as they were known back then. Now they're Lady A. But it was on an album that I downloaded that was the 2012 Grammy Award nominees album that was released in 2012 for the Grammy Awards. The song was actually released on May 2nd, 2011. So it's a pretty old song. So back then I must have liked country. I don't remember this song a whole lot. I remembered it when I listened to it, but I forgot it was on my playlist, which is the fun of this experiment. In fact, I might bring this segment into season 3. I'm thinking about it. I just think it's a fun break from my usual talking about the history of music and all that stuff, which I love to learn about music and all kinds of things about music. But this is a nice break, so I might throw it in a few times next season, just so you can get to know me better through my taste in music. All right, the very last song that came up in my shuffle experiment was called Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl by Olivia Rodrigo. Now, I don't know this song a whole lot, and I'm pretty sure I put this album on my playlist when I was doing that Grammy episode at the beginning of this year. So I'll also link that one in the show notes. But, it's a pretty good song. It seems more like it seemed a little darker when I listened to it. So, I started with a kind of a sad song with No More from Into the Woods, and then ended with a kind of an angry song. It sounded angry to me. I don't know. Maybe that was just me. But the song Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl is from Olivia Rodrigo's album Guts, which I do have that album on my playlist. And it was released in 2023. But that is what came up on my shuffle playlist. And I saw a pattern. Yes, there were a lot of musicals that came up on my playlist, which did not surprise me at all. The only surprises that and things that I forgot were on my playlist is like the song from Glee. I didn't know a whole lot about No More from Into the Woods, which now I know. And then, I forgot I had the Grammy nominees albums on there. I have several of them actually. But, so I had a country song and then like a pop song. So I had a mix. I had a mix of everything. And I thought it was fun. And I hope you enjoyed learning what songs popped up on my Shuffle Experiment playlist. So maybe I will do some more of this in season 3. Speaking of season 3, like I said, I'm going to take a month-long break after this episode. So this is my season finale. I'm going to be working on some new things for season 3. I was thinking of changing my cover art. I might make a new trailer because the trailer that I made at the beginning when I first started this podcast doesn't really fit with what I actually talk about now. I do more of the history and talk less about me. I mean, I throw myself in there, but I've turned this into me learning about the music that I love or the music that I'm curious about. So that's where it's gone. So I'm just going to take a break, rework some things, and come back in season 3 with a whole brand new, exciting podcast. All right, everybody. So that's a wrap on season 2 of The Music and Me. I am very grateful that you all have tuned in and have been loyal and listened to all my jibber jabbering about my favorite subject of music. I just love to learn about music, and that's what I've turned this podcast into. So I'm going to take about a month-long break. I'll come back, sometime in January. I don't know when yet. I will let you all know. I'm going to rework some things. I might make a new trailer. I'm thinking of changing my cover art because, sometimes you need a change. And then I'm going to rest up, get motivated for next season, and I'll be back with more music on The Music and Me. So thank you for listening once again. Happy holidays. Peace out, everybody. This has been the Music and Me podcast. Subscribe now so you don't miss a beat.